Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 2021 Tribal College and University Preview Day Fair, hosted by the American Indian College Funds. So for this year's host, we have the Native Pathways program in the team that is on right now. Sorry, my video is off. I wasn't able to turn it back on. I can't see any of you, so I'll just keep talking. We have Sandy Paco, who is the College Readiness Program Administrator. Pennington, who is the Native Pathways College Readiness Coach. And then there's myself, Nicolette Weston, who is the Native Pathways Transfer and Admissions Coach. And those are our emails if you want to reach out and contact us at any time. So our mission here at the American Indian College Fund invests in Native students in tribal college education to transform lives and communities. Our vision was founded in 1989. For over 31 years, the College Fund has been the nation's largest charity supporting Native students' access to higher education. We provide scholarships, programming to improve Native American student access to that higher education and the support and tools to succeed once you are there. So we're gonna start off, we have Jack Soto, who is the Career Readiness and Employment Senior Program Manager, and he's going to start us off and open us up with a grounding activity.
Glad you're able to join us. I wanted to take a moment just to help us sort of ground ourselves into the work of the day. So if you could just take a moment to close your eyes, take a deep breath. I want you to start with thinking about where you're sitting, your chair, the space around you. Calm yourself down and relax. Then I want you to think about a place in nature, somewhere outside that you really love going, whether it be by a brook or whether it be in the mountains, whether it be in the desert. Find a place that you really love to visit and be a part of outside in nature. Now I want you to think about all of your friends, family, people that you love to surround yourself with, to be in that space with you. And then also think about all of the relatives you bring with you, those who've passed, who have gone on, those people who have been a part of your lives, and in many ways as mentors who may not be around in the physical world, but invite them to be here with you in that space. And then acknowledge yourself again, being surrounded by all of these people, all of this good support. Thank them for being there. Thank nature for being there. Open yourself up to being prepared to learn what you can and help ask all of the people and all of nature around you to be supportive to that. Bring you here to learn. And then I want you to think of the sun. Just picture the sun, whether it be sunrise, sunset, in the middle of the day. Think of the sun, and I want you to take another deep breath. One more deep breath. One more deep breath. Now open your eyes. The video might have been a little shaky, so I hope that this is useful and helpful. Enjoy your day. Have a great time. So much wonderful information will be given to you, but take what you can. All right, bye. Glad you're able to join us.
Awesome. Thank you, Jack, for sharing that grounding activity with us. I hope everyone was able to ground and get comfortable and get ready to hear about some really great tribal colleges we have for day 2 of our tribal college fair. And we just want to make sure that we are also acknowledging the land that we are currently on here at the American Indian College Fund, which is located in Colorado. So these are traditional ancestral lands of the Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Ute nations. 48 additional tribes have cultural ties to this land in Colorado, and we respect and show gratitude to the original stewards of this land. So just to quickly go over the Tribal College and University Fair for day 2, we do have South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Minnesota representing this evening. Students may attend any day or region that they are interested in, so links for each day will be placed in the chat. Students who stay and submit the post survey will be eligible for the following prizes. We do have Amazon Kindle Fire tablets that we are giving away, and a bunch of really cool American Indian College Fund swag bags. In addition, high schools will also be entered in a raffle for a surprise staff care kit. So these are for high school staff who may be on listening now, taking part of the college fair. 3 schools will be chosen for that. So just to quickly go over the agenda, we did the introduction to the annual Tribal College University Fair. Next, we'll have a Q&A with the TCU student ambassador. And then we'll highlight the tribal colleges and universities. And then we'll have any questions and answers for those TCUs. Also, as they are presenting, feel free to drop questions into the Q&A feature there or the chat box. And then to wrap it up, we'll go over the scholarships and resources that we have here at the American Indian College Fund. So for today's college and universities that are presenting, we have Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College, we have Bay Mills Community College, Sitting Bull College, College of Menomonee Nation, and Chandeska Chicana Community College. And for any terminology that you might not be familiar with or you might need extra help understanding, please feel free to go to the Native Pathways College Going Guidebook, and one of my team members are dropping that link in the chat right now. Pages 58 and 59, that's our glossary, and that will help you understand any terminology that you might be having trouble with as we go along with the fair. Awesome, thank you guys once again for joining us. I'm going to turn it over to Micheline, who will now do a Q&A with one of the student ambassadors. Micheline?
Awesome, thank you, Nicolette. All right, so good evening, everyone. We're super excited to have Jasmine here. If you have any questions for Jasmine throughout the Q&A, I welcome you to drop those in the chat. They're going to stay on a little bit later and they can answer some of your questions. But first, we have some questions for you, Jasmine. So first, can you please introduce yourself a little bit? Where are you from? What TCU do you attend? What are you studying? And where are you currently in your educational journey?
My name is Jasmine Niash. I am an enrolled member of the Menomonee Nation, currently calling in from the ancestral homelands of the Menomonee, which is really cool. I am a student at the College of Menomonee Nation, hopefully graduating in the spring. I just say hopefully just to, fingers crossed. I am also a graduate of a TCU, which is really cool. So I got my associate degree in natural resources from College of Menomonee back in 2019. Had been planning to transfer and then just fell in love so much with CMN that I just stayed. So now I'm on track to get my bachelor's degree in public administration in the spring. So.
That's amazing. Thank you, Jasmine. So when I think about when I was going to college, it felt kind of difficult to conceptualize what college was going to look like or how to choose a college that was going to be the best fit for me. So can you please tell us how you decided that College of Menomonee Nation was a good fit for you, and in general, a tribal college and university, why it might be a good fit?
Sure. So my journey was actually a little bit strange in the sense that when I graduated from high school when I was 17, I was very much dead set on wanting to go to like a very standard 4-year private university. I was really attracted by the idea of prestige. Like, you know, like a lot of Native students, I had a little bit of a chip on my shoulder and just like wanted to prove myself. Once I got there, you know, it was a fantastic school, had a lot of fun, but it just like didn't feel like a good fit. Tried another stint at a private arts college in Chicago, and again, wonderful people, fantastic program, just did not fit me. So I kind of got it into my head that maybe higher education just like wasn't my thing, you know, which is legitimate. Like some people just don't want to be in school. I look back at that now and kind of laugh at like just how like how much I did not understand like what wasn't working for me at the time. When I started looking at schools again after being away for a little while, I had a much clearer picture of what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into environmental law and policy. I'm one of those people though that I can't just look at things from the abstract sense. If I want to contribute positively to a better world and, you know, empower indigenous nations and their sovereignty and to use their sovereignty to the best extent possible, especially for the land, I need to see some idea of what that looks like on the ground. Like what does good policy look like? And it just so happens that I come from, you know, a tribe that's literally known for good environmental policy. So that was kind of the thing that attracted me to it initially. I was like, all right, I'll go there, learn how to do this thing, and then I'll jet out to like Middlebury, like after I get my associate degree. The reason that I ended up staying though, is because College of Menomonee Nation provided me with so many indescribably awesome opportunities that even with the long list of amenities at like all these like fancy East Coast colleges that I was looking at transferring into, it just made the most sense to just stay where I was. When you combine that with the idea that like I was actually around people who could show me what it would be like to be a fully indigenous person embracing who I am in higher education without having to sacrifice that success in the Western world, that right there, that made all the decision for me. And obviously I'm talking about College of Menomonee Nation specifically, but I've met tribal college students from all over the country and from like probably at this point like every TCU, and I've heard the same thing across the nation. So I think it's fairly common.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your experience and trying to figure things out. And I'm glad that you found a place that was the best fit for you. That's really awesome, and a pathway that was a good fit for you. So congrats on that. And we're going to continue rooting for you because you're going to graduate. So our next question is, what kind of support does the tribal college and university offer you to be successful?
Oh, so many things. For starters, like even right from the beginning, I had so many different things that I had a lot of trepidation about. And all the student services team were so helpful, like just getting me like in the door. There were things that were like some slight hangups that were kind of like endangering me, that along with like some natural procrastination from like actually getting into college on time, like when I wanted to start. And the person that I was talking to was like, listen, we don't care, like we'll figure this out, like let's get you into the process of doing this and then we'll figure it out as we go. And everything did end up working out, but just that amount of enthusiasm and that passion for someone that they didn't know, like that they just wanted me to like succeed and get on that journey was like so touching. But then as soon as I got, you know, to CMN, there were so many things there that were meant to help me succeed. Like there's tutoring services, both peer tutoring and then like, you know, instructors will have office hours where they just kind of like hang out and just let you come by. After COVID hit, obviously, and sorry in advance about like my dog who's very upset to not be on this call with me right now. After COVID hit, and obviously that was like a huge emotional toll that was kind of weighing on our community and like on all of our students because of everything going on in the world. They actually went the extra step of getting a therapist for us, so that if there were things that we needed to talk out and we couldn't do it at home, or if we didn't have access to mental health services, which is a very common thing in this country, we could still have someone to go and talk to where we wouldn't have to worry about that sort of like emotional burden. So any sort of support that comes along, like they have like emergency services funds, you know, if my car breaks down and I like literally can't get to college, like they're like, no worry about it. Just like fill out this form, we'll figure it out. Let's get there. So yeah, any kind of way that a student might need to be successful, especially since a lot of the people who go to CMN and like work there are former CMN graduates, so they know what's going on. They've thought it through and they found some way to kind of help us figure that out.
That's really awesome. That's incredible to hear about all those really great resources. And in my experience, getting to know tribal colleges and universities and learning more about them, a lot of them offer these really fantastic resources. So to all of the students who are in this webinar, I do want to welcome you and encourage you today when you're hearing from the tribal colleges and universities to look out for these resources. If you're like somebody who maybe needs a little extra help with writing, or you need some math tutoring, keep your eye out for those today, but also when you visit colleges and universities, look out for those resources. And I really like that Jasmine brought up emergency funds. A lot of tribal colleges and universities that I've gotten to know are able to offer these resources, which can be very helpful because you never know what's going to come up. So what I got from that is that tribal colleges and universities can be extremely supportive and passionate about being supportive. So thank you, Jasmine, for that. And then I wanted to ask, are you involved in any extracurricular activities in your school, such as student government, clubs, sports? If so, what is your experience like with that?
Oh, sure. I'm I'm all over the place on campus. It's kind of a strange thing. So like naturally, I'm a little bit of a wallflower. I'm not one of those people that likes to be like front and center with things. But the cool thing about being at CMN, and I guess just in general in the TC community, is that has given me a safe enough environment that I really feel comfortable kind of like doing that as much as I feel comfortable. So one great example of that, like I actually just finished up a term as a student government president, which was a lot of fun. That wasn't something I would have under other circumstances, I think immediately stepped into. I served as president for our ecology club, which is a lot of fun. We actually got policy changed while I was president of that club. And that was like a really fun process of like figuring out how to do all these like crazy administrative things, which is just like a fun experience. Plus, CMN has a thing called the Sustainable Development Institute, which is basically like the research arm of the college. But also does a lot of just like really cool sustainability programming for the college. So pretty much every semester that I've been here, I've done at least an internship or a student worker spot there, help them out with like harvesting and things like that. So there's just like, even though it's a very small college with like not that big of a student population, there's so much activity that goes on. And it's just really great because you know, at some point, we're all going to graduate from college, and kind of those training wheels that we have in college that we're not totally aware of at the time, those have to come off. The great thing about doing all of that at TCU is that you get to kind of do that with somebody who's there like watching you and helping you out. And you get to like really try things out and figure out like what it is you're going to like. So 100% like getting involved in stuff on campus, even if you're like not sure about it, you just kind of want to try it out. Highly recommend that people do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can speak from my own experience. I was also more of a wallflower. And so I appreciate you being front and center here with us today, even though that's not always your thing. And I experienced a lot of growth by participating in clubs and organizations and trying new things as well. So while you're looking at different schools and opportunities, keep your eye on the lookout for things like that, opportunities to try new things and grow, because there really are a lot of really great opportunities out there.
I forgot like one thing too, that's like probably, okay, the two best things I think about going to a TCU besides all like the fun stuff and the support and like culturally appropriate education, all the other really great things, is the competition every year. So I was on what's called the Knowledge Bowl team, where essentially we read books and like watch videos and just like learn as much as we can, usually like a particular region. And then we go up and we compete. Like it's almost like Jeopardy where you have to like remember certain things. And as somebody who's been devouring books and just reading things all my life and memorizing random facts, the fact that I can now go somewhere to like a large conference and like get to compete for that for like a trophy or a plaque or whatever is like a dream come true. And it's usually like native stuff. So that's really awesome. So that conference is fantastic. They have like science bowl and archery and hand games. And like, that's something that I look forward to every year when COVID's not going on. But then also American Indian Science and Education Society also has a national conference that I just got back from that is fantastic. And I think had I not gone to a TCU, I wouldn't have known that like the AHEC competition and ACEs and all that stuff was around. And I don't know that I would have gotten to compete because I don't know the rules aside from that. So like 2 major bonuses as far as extracurricular activities go.
That's super awesome. Thank you for coming back on to share that. That sounds really cool. And I saw your eyes light up, so it's awesome. So we do have one last question, and that is, what do you enjoy most about your experience going to a tribal college and university?
So for me, I think it was getting to learn a little bit more about how I fit into the story of my particular Indigenous nation. So for a long time, I kind of like didn't really know like what being Menomonee actually means to me, aside from like this abstract sense of like cultural pride. Being able to study as a student at a tribal college surrounded by other people who are also trying to figure out their own identity has really put a lot of things into perspective. So things about like knowing that at one time we were wanderers and dreamers, like that was just stuff that I said. And like now understanding, like getting to travel to like some of these different conferences, getting to like meet other people, like getting to dream collectively with other people who have similar dreams or even very different dreams from mine has really helped contextualize myself and what the work is I'm trying to accomplish. And I'm not going to say that I would never have gotten to that point if I hadn't been at a TCU, but I do know that it would have taken a much longer time with like a much messier route. And I don't know that I would have enjoyed it as much. So like if I can, you know, say there's a singular thing that come out of that that will like always stay with me, I think it's probably that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jasmine. You shared so much like really helpful information, I think, for our students. And I really appreciate your genuine responses and thought behind your answers. So thank you so much for taking time out of your evening to share your experience with our students. We're all rooting for you. You're going to graduate. And if you don't mind staying on maybe just another 10 more minutes to see if any students have questions in the chat. And after that, we welcome you to head out. But we hope you have a lovely evening. Thank you, Jasmine. All right, awesome. So now we are going to move into the Tribal College and University Fair portion of the event. And we will have Sandy keeping time. So our first school this evening is Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College. Nicolette, if you don't mind sharing the slides. Hello, Josh.
Hello.
And nice to see you here this evening. I'll go ahead and let you begin introducing yourself. Students, if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A feature. Sandy will let you know, Josh, when you're coming towards the end with a chime. So
sounds great. Thank you, Jasmine. It was awesome to hear you share your story. So thank you for coming forward with that excitement and energy. And I just wanted to acknowledge that was pretty cool. So good evening. My name is Josh Cleveland from Fond du Lac Tribal and Community College. We are located in Cloquet, Minnesota, which is about 2 hours north of Minneapolis, St. Paul. We're about a half hour away from Duluth, Superior, which is where the world's largest freshwater lake, Lake Superior, is located. So that's pretty fun. Cloquet is a smaller community of about 13,000 people. And we are a community college and a tribal college joined together. It's the only one like it in the whole world. Our founding president, Jack Briggs, had this amazing vision, and we're really proud to be a part of it and carrying forward that vision. So if you want to go to the next slide. So we offer 2-year degrees and we have 15 different ones. I listed some of our popular majors, including nursing and healthcare. We just updated all of our mannequins. They're smart mannequins, so they can talk and do different sorts of sounds, and one of the mannequins can even give birth. So it's a really high level of training that you're receiving when you get your 2-year nursing degree. Great job placement. We have an elementary education program and a childhood development program. So if you like working with kids, if you've liked school, or maybe school wasn't your favorite thing, that could still be a good reason to get into education to try to make it a better place. We have our American Indian Studies program, and that includes the Ojibwe language certificate, which allows you to go back into the high school, middle school, and teach the language. We do have a recording studio, so we're able to bring in elders, and they're able to share their stories in both Ojibwe and English. That's really cool to be a part of language preservation. We've partnered with the online Ojibwe People's Dictionary as well. So those are just one-word snippets. It's really exciting. We have our Human Services program, which is a drug and alcohol counseling program. It allows you to get in and start working after just 2 years of school. So you're going to start noticing a trend with most of our programs. That is, you have the opportunity to start work after just 2 years of study. And then if you'd like to go on and do a 2+2, you've got your 4-year bachelor's degree. And wherever you choose to get that bachelor's degree, that's where your degree is from. And so it doesn't say you got half a degree, right? Those 4-year colleges in our area are on our campus about once a month recruiting our students. We've got really good relationships with all the Duluth schools, and you can transfer within our area, or we've had students go way beyond. We've got a great law enforcement program. We've obviously know that there's been a lot of ups and downs over the last couple of years. We're really proud of what we've been doing in that program all along, and our coordinator is actually part of the task force looking to help make positive change in that field. So we're really proud of that. Everything from squad cars and all the hands-on type stuff, but it's also appropriate for folks who'd want to get into more the legal legislative side of things, like if you're interested in being a judge, an attorney, something like that. We have a multimedia productions degree. This is a newer degree, and this is learning how to tell your story in everything from film, photo, podcasting, YouTubing, stills. Basically, how can I go out and tell a story? So for somebody thinking about radio, film, anything like that, this is a nice introduction. It's your first 2 years, and then probably transferring on, getting that bachelor's. Similar with the environmental science. You know, in the science field, we really value education. So you're looking at 2 years with us. The advantage just starting at a 2-year school at our school would be smaller class sizes, about 20 students, very affordable, and then a lot of research available right away, which is oftentimes not available at a bigger school. Usually that's something that you would get during your last year of school. So it's really neat to be able to hop in and start doing research right away. We are a part of Minnesota State, which is a collection of 37 different colleges and universities all across Minnesota. So that makes it really easy if you're interested in transferring to go get that bachelor's degree. Ready for that next slide? And student life. So when you're thinking about a college, find one that has a good major for you, or at least a general direction that you're thinking of studying. But the student life and what we offer is a big part. And so we have apartment style housing, and you can see a picture here: kitchen, living room, dining room, bathroom. It's affordable. It's $400 a month, all utilities included. So that's pretty great. Lots of different clubs. There's a great gym. We do field football, volleyball, and basketball teams. There's also pickup games that happen over the lunch hour. And as Jasmine mentioned, tutoring, advising, those open office hours, those are great. It's really fun when your instructors are passionate about what they do. And I can honestly say that we've got some amazing instructors who really put their heart into what they're doing. And how to pay for college, Fafsa is kind of your first step, but then work study jobs, there's quite a few on campus, as well as generous scholarships and grants, thanks to many different institutions and organizations. Next slide. And so how much does it cost? This actually is just a few few $100 more than it ought to be. It's $5,234, but pretty close there. And parking is only $2 a credit. So most students take about 15 credits. So we're looking at about $30, so pretty cheap. And there are many grants and scholarships available. The neat thing is I give tours to students so often, as Jasmine had mentioned, you know, maybe not totally sure, maybe a little bit quieter in high school. Take that tour, kind of honestly admit that, you know, I don't know. But then within one semester, to just see people step into themselves and really blossom into their potential and start realizing some of those dreams that have maybe always been there, but just required the right place to draw that out. And it's really exciting to see that. Next slide. And so for all of us tonight, you know, you're invited to join us, and we want to connect with you, whether it's in person, virtually like this. We can carry on one-on-one connections. Pick up the phone and give us a call, shoot us an email. There's no bad question. And you don't have to be an expert at the whole process. And even if you've tried college at one spot and it wasn't quite right, maybe you're interested in trying again in a different place. Sometimes it's, hey, I want to get far away from home and have a brand new adventure. That is a valid reason to try somewhere new. And maybe you're from the area and you'd like to stay close to home, and that's great too. So we're open enrollment, and basically graduate high school or attain your GED and you will be accepted. And we're excited to guide you through the process. There's been so many applicants who have said they're nervous the day that they come and apply. And 10 minutes later, after filling out the application, they say, that was actually pretty easy. I say, yep, it's just the start of a new adventure, and the 2 years actually goes pretty quick. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Josh. I feel like I learned so much. Some things that really stuck out to me are the research opportunities for students who want some hands-on experience. That's super valuable. So make sure you're on the lookout for opportunities like that. The fact that you offer housing is super cool, and definitely something to look out for as well, especially if you're looking to go further away from home. Knowing whether or not there's housing on campus is very helpful. And then there was something else that stuck out to me, but it already left my mind. But thank you so much for all that great information. I do want to ask the students and our guests who are in this webinar to put in anything that you learned into the chat. It's really fun for us to see what you've learned as well. So we'd love to see you engage in that way. And next we have Bay Mills Community College. So please add what you learned about Fond du Lac. And we can get started with Bay Mills. Rihanna, I don't know if you're speaking, but we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't sure if they were still doing the questions. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you see me?
We can see you.
Okay, hello. I am Rihanna McKechnie, and I'm the Marketing and Recruitment Specialist at Bay Mills Community College. So Bay Mills is a community college, a tribal college in Brimley, Michigan. So Brimley is pretty small. If you know it, then you're probably going to know it because it's about half an hour outside of Sault Ste. Marie, which is also pretty small, but it's one of the bigger cities in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So for me, specifically for an introduction, I'm from Sault Ste. Marie, and I'm a part of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians. So, like I said, they are located right by Lake Superior, and this is our mission statement. So the mission of the Bay Mills Community College is to provide quality educational opportunities, promote research, and facilitate individual development in an accessible, community-based, and, sorry, my thing popped up, culturally diverse environment. So what we offer, we have one actual bachelor degree right now. And we're in the process of getting another one up in the fall. We have 15 associate degrees, 12 certificates, and 1 diploma. And then these are kind of our top majors. So we have the early childhood education, and we have a bachelor program for that and the associate. We have our business administration program, our construction technology program, our Anishinaabe and Panay immersion diploma, and our social science associate program. And then in addition to this, we are part of the Michigan Transfer Agreement. So basically, what that means is that a bunch of different schools in Michigan, including like four-year universities, have all signed this agreement where essentially the general education credits between them are transferable. So for instance, you could do your basics at the MCC and then transfer to the University of Michigan or Central Michigan or pretty much any college in Michigan. I think they're all on there actually. Okay, go ahead to the next slide. So for student life, we have a couple different things that students can do on campus. We have our fitness center, and they have a bunch of different classes that they change every week. So like I think this week a lot of them were like aerobics or yoga. I'm not very sporty, so I don't go to those, but I've heard they're pretty fun. There is also our student council, and then students can like make their own clubs as well. So for instance, right now I think there's like the chess club, and then I think there's like an LGBT club. So pretty much if you want to, you can have whatever you want. For support services, we have a couple different things. So we have TRIO and we have our student support services. So TRIO serves kind of like a specific clientele, but a lot of like people who fit in that clientele are like first year students typically. So normally I think it's like first year students, or if you're from like a family where like no one has gone to college, so you're a first generation college student. And they're basically just extra support to help students succeed in college. So like they'll help with like classes, they'll give extra guidance, they'll help if you're going to go to a four-year university. So they just went on a transfer trip to Central Michigan, either last week or the week before. The other thing we have is our Student Success Center.
Rihanna,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I know you're like going with the flow, but we have some guests who aren't able to hear you. So I don't know
Sure.
if you speak or if you speak a little, I don't know, maybe more loud. I'm not too sure what it is.
Okay. Is this better or no?
It sounds better to me. If one of our guests want to weigh in the chat and let us know if it's a little better, that would be helpful. I'm not seeing anything, so I think we can go ahead and continue. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. So what I was saying was just that we have TRIO, which is a special support program for specific students. So like first year students or students who have never been to college. And then there is also our Student Success Center. So they're responsible for things like if you need like peer assistance or disability services. They also have a laptop lending program. So especially with COVID, we really bumped up our laptop lending program. So students can like rent a laptop and then use that for their classes and stuff, which is really important for us because right now the majority of our students are online students. So obviously we want them to be able to access their classes. And then go on to the next slide, please. Okay. So this is our cost of attendance, and sorry, I'm kind of blind, so I'm going to pull up the sheet on my phone too. So our cost of attendance for our 100 to 200 level classes is $95 per credit hour. In comparison, in Michigan, a lot of the other schools around here range about 300 to, I think the highest I saw was like 580. So it's definitely more affordable, which is, I think, pretty typical of community colleges. But it's really great because a lot of our students around here will go here, get their gen eds done, or they'll get like an associate degree, and then they'll go to a four-year degree, and they're already like a step ahead of like their classmates just because they don't have that massive amount of debt for tuition for the same education. We also have a bunch of different scholarships because we're really trying to be as successful as we can be for our students. So We have a bunch of different memorial scholarships. In fact, some of them are from past students or past people associated with the college. So that's really cool. And then we also help with things like we have student workers. So a lot of students work on campus. We have one in my hallway right now where she works for Trio. So it helps give experience for them with kind of different departments, but also it's a way for them to pay back for college too. Go ahead to the next slide. So this is just talking about, I guess, inviting you to attend our college. So we don't have any application fees. And then our registration actually just started. It started on the 25th and it runs through until January 6th. And my contact information is on there if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rihanna. And thanks for adjusting your mic halfway through there. I know that was maybe a little distracting, but I'm learning some really cool things as well about your laptop lending. That's really awesome. A lot of students, sometimes something will happen to your own laptop and you might need that as a resource. So that's super helpful. And I really love that you brought up that there's no application fees. So a lot of times when you're applying for colleges and universities, application fees can range anywhere from 25 to 175, which can really add up. So it really makes sense to apply for some like this where you don't have any fees. That's super exciting. So thank you so much. And then again, I want to invite everyone to add into the chat whatever you learned about Bay Mills Community College. And we are ready for our next tribal college and university, which is Sitting Bull College.
Hello. My name is Cody Murphy. I'm the outreach coordinator here at Sitting Bull College. I am also a full-time student here. I will be graduating with my bachelor's in business administration in the spring of 2022. So Sitting Bull College, we're located in Fort Yates, North Dakota. We have 3 campuses though. 2 are in South Dakota, so McLaughlin and Mobridge. We're on the Standing Rock Reservation, and we have, I'll just start doing our mission statement here, but so our mission statement is guided by Oceti Shakoni culture, values, and language. Sitting Bull College is committed to building intellectual capital through academic, career, and technical education and promoting economic and social development. So you can go to the next slide, please. So we actually have a few 4-year degrees. We have 3 master's degrees, 9 bachelors, 14 associates, and 8 certificates. So I just kind of put a few of our main, our most popular programs here. So environmental science, that was our very first master's program we had. The next was curriculum and instruction, business administration, nursing, Native American studies, and criminal justice. We just got approved last week for our bachelor's degree in that. So that's fun, finally. And then we're fully accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. So obviously kind of the same thing, just kind of like colleges in our area where can definitely transfer. Okay, next slide, please. So we have lots of clubs. We do have a culture club, so that kind of focuses a lot on Lakota, Dakota culture. And then they do different kinds of things in the community. We have ABLE, which is American Indian Business Leaders, Giko Yate, which is like an IT club, Two Spirit, and then Wellness Club. We have a campus daycare. It's an immersion nest, so the kids there also learn Lakota. So they speak pretty much nothing but Lakota when they're in the classroom. We have family housing in Fort Yates and dorms in Fort Yates. And then we also have dorms in McLaughlin or Mobridge on our Mobridge campus. So, and then most programs have their own internship and research opportunities. So they're all unique to each program. So depending on whichever one you decide to go in, they all kind of have their own unique ones. We have online library resources for research. So if you need to write a research paper, you just go and log in with our library login, and you can have access to like different academic journals and that kind of stuff. We also have free tutoring, and we also have a laptop checkout if students need that. And then we also provide academic and career counseling. Next slide. So our cost of attendance is $1,800 a semester for full-time students. It's about $125 a credit, I believe. Oh, there it is. And then $350 for the master's programs. We also have a Build Your Brighter Future scholarship. And so that is for current year high school graduates. And that covers pretty much the first year of tuition, as long as your grades are good and you still fit the criteria. And then that also can pay like 2 months of rent in the dorm if I think along with your tuition. We have a lot of other financial aid opportunities. I just kind of put our financial aid director's information in here because she would be the one to contact if you have any other questions about financial aid for our TCU. And it's jaslyncorley@citybowl.edu. And then we will have a financial aid tab on our website, but we're in the process of redoing our website. So hopefully that'll be soon. I just put that in there just so you can check it out soon. But next slide, please. Okay, so then we also have a couple different ways of applying. Our applications, it's also free to apply here. But so you can email our registrar, lisa.mclaughlin@citybowl.edu, and she will can send you a DocuSign application, and you can fill it out all online. It is really fast, and it's a whole lot easier than printing something out and writing on a piece of paper and then sending it in. But if you still want to do that, that's totally fine too, and you can find our printable PDF on our website. And then I'll put my contact information in the chat too, but here it is right here. So it's Cody Murphy. I'm the outreach coordinator here, and cody.murphy@citybowl.edu. That's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cody, for sharing more with us about Sitting Bull College. I know I learned a lot on this one too, that you have 3 campuses and you offer all the way up to master's programs. So that's really exciting. Again, I want to invite guests to put what you learned in the chat from Cody. She provided a lot of great information. Something that I pulled out from all of the presentations so far is that there's our financial aid opportunities at each of these schools. So aside from completing the Fafsa, I do want to recommend that you connect with these lovely people that you're meeting here this evening to learn more about various financial aid opportunities, or get connected with financial aid at those campuses, because there really are a lot of different opportunities for you out there. So thank you again, Cody. And we are going to have Louise Nix from College of the Menomonee Nation.
Thank you, Micheline, and Nicolette and Sandy for planning this day today for all these, hopefully potential TCU students to get some, information about the different options that they have in the Midwest. And I'm happy to be here. As she said, my name is actually, it's weird at the college, everybody makes fun of me because they're like, well, what do you want us to call you? So some people call me Louie, others call me Luis, and then others call me Louis. So when I hear Luis, it's almost like like I did something wrong and my grandma's kind of yelling at me. So if you want to go with Louis, I'll know that I'm doing okay. But yeah, so I'm the enrollment manager at the College of Menomonee Nation. I've been there for almost 10 years. Like some of us who work in the TCUs, it's like you get started there as a first-time freshman and you never end up leaving. You end up finding your passion, realizing you're helping other natives. And that was really the thing that drives me the most about working at a tribal college university, is being that upfront person who can talk to students, They come in a little bit scared about testing and accuplacers and transcripts, and you kind of just get to sit with them and say, hey, we'll sit down, we'll walk with you along the way, which is one of our taglines, and we'll do this together. Because sometimes students do need a little bit of hand-holding in the beginning to understand that they can fly on their own eventually. So if you want to go ahead to the next slide, I could share a little bit about the college here. So we have 2 vibrant campuses, one in Chicana, Wisconsin, and then another one in Green Bay. Some of you probably know Green Bay because of the Packers. I think that's our biggest attraction, if you will. Our Green Bay campus here, you see on the picture, is kind of nestled right in a hill about 1.5 miles away from the Packer Stadium. So it's really close to a lot of places to eat, and the shopping malls, that kind of stuff. And then we have our more traditional campus that's kind of more of in a forested area where you have a lot of green space and woods and nature and sustainability projects. So it's kind of cool. Students work from both campuses, utilizing some of our new technology, which I'll kind of talk about on some of these next slides. I left the 2 links on the bottom of the page there. One is to our 2020 annual report. You don't need to click on it just for time. I was going to kind of go through it, but I'll leave that there. You're going to be sharing these slides with the students, I understand. So those are links to our annual report. And then one thing we're really happy about is our Cmn Interactive Visit that we just updated about a week ago. You click on that visit and you can literally walk around inside and outside of the College of Menomonee Nation, look at some of our instructor rooms. We can look at some of our trades technology that we have, some of the resources that we have in the various buildings. And so if you were more curious to kind of see what it's like to be on campus, it's really neat. You actually you're walking around like you're an actual person. And it's so that link there connected to the Cmn Interactive Visit will take you right to that Cmn Interactive Tour Visit, excuse me. If you want to go, okay. So a little bit more about us. Our vision is similar to a lot of colleges. It's about really nation building, right? And using research and promoting lifelong learning. Our mission, we're chartered by the Menomonee people. We aim to really infuse the Native American values and culture into the people who are coming out of our colleges, right? And so at CMN, you're going to learn how to be a leader in a multicultural world, where you're going to learn that, that westernized aspect, but you're also going to learn what it's like from a sovereign nation perspective. And of course, CMN's always committed to research and the nurturance of American language and culture and scholarship. Next slide, please. Oh, yep. So some of the values that guide, who we are at the college here, and kind of our behavior, I guess, if you will, are our values that we these are instilled in our staff. I during staff meetings, I always make sure that they're aware of, what guides us. And it's American Indian culture, it's sustainability, ethical behavior, promoting that mutual respect and cooperation, diversity, understanding that people have, different kinds of growth styles, and the individual values that we all carry to reach our fullest potential. It's about community engagement. We talked about the research and learning to use our job center to serve some of those community needs. And then the culture of service, really giving back. And I think that's kind of one of the things that really ties me to the College of Menomonee Nation, is being able to help people kind of go what I went through. So if you want to go to the next slide, please. So some of our programs of study here, and just for a quick reference, I did, again, for the people who are in attendance, the programs of study audit sheet link there. If you click on that, it'll actually bring you to you don't have to do it today, but you can click on that for your future reference to kind of look at all the audit sheets and, the classes that you might need to obtain one of these degrees. As you'll notice, CMN, we have some pre-college programming that we do. We have some 1-year technical diplomas, as well as 2-year and 4-year degrees at the College of Menomonee Nation. We're really happy about our degree that we just got started this fall in sustainable agriculture, where you're looking at, more westernized ideas of culture, but also from an indigenous lens, and looking at how Native peoples have sustained their food systems throughout time. So that's a really, really neat program that we're hoping to get some more promotion about. One really, really cool program, if there's any high school students in attendance who are from kind of around the Green Bay area, sustainable ag, yes, is that we have a learn and earn program. If you're a high schooler right now, you could join us in the spring. Well, we could pay for your tuition fees, books, and everything associated with the class to take a gen ed. It's really our program to get you your feet wet with college, get you in the college, kind of meeting some of the staff, some of the faculty who are amazing, and then really see if CMN is the place that you'd like to be, or another tribal college university. You can start that program actually after your sophomore year. So if there's any people in attendance who have like friends, nieces, nephews, or just people who are juniors or seniors in the area of Green Bay or Chicana, please send them my way. We'd love to get them started on this program. If you started at the right time, you can get up to 18 credits of college before you even start, saving yourself around $5,000 to $6,000 in fees, books, tuition. Yeah, we can go to the next slide here. I'm not sure how I'm doing on time, but happy to answer questions about the programs a little bit later too. So our state-of-the-art technology, like I mentioned before, we have this telepresence technology where if you choose to take classes in Green Bay or at our main campus, you can do so. You'll see here, there's two big 80-inch screen TVs. They're actually bigger than the one that you see there. We just got some upgraded ones. But basically it's 1080. You're allowed to see everybody in the other class, raise your hand, interact live. Okay, good. Interact live with the faculty and students on the other campus. If you want to just come to Green Bay and come shopping, some students will do, or they'll come here for all the food that we have, and they'll actually just attend class from the Green Bay campus sometimes. And so that's kind of cool too, give them that flexibility between campuses. Can we go back just a little bit? Just that one, yep. Last thing I want to say about the telepresence, just like we're going forward, I was going to go back to that, showing off that TV. The one cool thing about that is it allows our students in Green Bay the ability to finish their 2-year or 4-year degree in Green Bay. So oftentimes about a decade ago when I was at CMN, we didn't have this kind of technology. So what it included was, for me, like my last semester, I had to drive 45 minutes north to the main campus to finish my degree. Now that's not, we have this new technology in place to kind of help with that. So we're really happy about that. Thank you. So we can go on to the next slide. So I did want to mention, I didn't include this on my presentation. I didn't know if I had enough time, but we do have amazing financial aid opportunities. I'm actually a descendant of Menomonee and Oneida. You can see me there. I graduated back in the day. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not even enrolled Oneida or Menomonee, and I didn't pay 1 penny after graduating from CMN with my 2-year degree. I transferred over to UWGB, which is a local university connected with the UW system, and got my bachelor's degree and ultimately a master's. But I just want to say, you can start at CMN and fly anywhere, and we're happy to help you kind of make those connections at the other universities if that's your ultimate goal. Here's kind of what some students are saying about CMN, and I added a video testimonial there to kind of, if you want to look back at some audio video of students' testimonials, but this is what they're saying about us. They hear about the good staff and the faculty, the supportive environment. It's close. They offered me a financial aid package that allowed me to afford college. That wasn't my quote, even though it sounds like it could be. Small class sizes, multicultural campus, small class sizes, again, the diversity of the student body. And you'll kind of see these. But if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide. One small fact I forgot to tell you on the one slide was, the second slide was CMN was founded in 1993. In the first semester, it started with 42 students in the basement of the founder of the college. So her first classes were actually in her basement. And I forgot to mention that because I submitted my PowerPoint and I updated it. And I kind of had a little joke in there saying like kind of started from the basement and now we're here kind of thing. I forgot to say that in my second slide, but at CMN, again, we're a smaller college where you can start here and you can really fly anywhere. And we're happy to walk with you along the way. So please follow us on by emailing us or visiting us at our Facebook and YouTube slides. So it's like one of my advisors always told me, if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough. So I'll end with that and stay around for any more questions. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Louis. I'm sorry that I reminded you of your angry grandmother. But we are not angry with you. We appreciate all the information that you shared and your Drake joke there at the end. So I did learn a lot again. And some of the things that really stuck out to me was you mentioned trades and technology, which is something that students are often looking for. So make sure you're looking for that as well on your college going journey. I also like that you mentioned the program for high school students. So hopefully during the Q&A session, we can talk a little bit more about what dual enrollment is and how you might be able to earn college credits while you're in high school, because that is an option at a lot of the tribal colleges and universities, which is amazing. And then I just wanted to say, I really appreciated the testimonials that you included on your last slide. Hearing from students on what makes a college the best fit for them, I think is very helpful for all of our students. So thank you. And so last but not least, we do have Melody from Chandeska Chicana Community College. So Melody, you're welcome to begin.
Okay, I will wait for my slides, but I am Melody Volk. I am the Director of Communication and Outreach at Chandeska. We are located on the Spirit Lake Nation in Fort Totten, North Dakota. And it's a small little campus, but it's very, very big on dreams and ideas. And next slide, please. What we have to offer is we are a 2-year degree offering campus. We have 10 programs. Our most popular ones are social work, early childhood, natural resource management, pre-engineering. We do offer a carpentry certificate and a professional driver certificate, or CDL. And we do have articulation agreements with 3 of the state institutions here in North Dakota. Our pre-engineering goes to NDSU once they are done. Because a lot of the classwork and instructors that they have for the pre-engineering courses are from NDSU. And so that is very, very good, because then the student will have experiences with NDSU campus during the summertime. They go down for different workshops, and they also will know their instructors ahead of time also. Our social work program has a 2+2 agreement with UND. And once they achieve their 2-year program at our campus, they're automatically enrolled into their social work program. And a lot of times they have tuition waivers for the students going to UND. So that is something that you can work for. We also have our articulation agreement with Mayville State for our early childhood program. And again, to reiterate, our social work program and our early childhood program are virtually all online. And especially right now during the pandemic, we had to make a lot of changes, and we're finding our students really do like the online coursework because they can work full-time. They also have their families, and a lot of the instructors will accommodate their classrooms by doing a survey the first day of class to see what time would be the best for everyone. And our early childhood instructor and our social work instructor are offering courses after 8:30 at night. And so that has really helped with the programs and for the students. Next slide, please. We really want to have our students get involved. On campus, we have the fitness center, we have a student game room, we have a study lounge. We also offer professional tutors. We have laptops for the students, and they're the students then after they leave the campus. We have online classes, in-person classes, and what we call hybrid classes, where some of it's online, some of it's in class. We also have a career services counselor on staff. And if you're not sure what you really want to do, we suggest that you visit her. She has a few little items that will help you figure out what your path career should be or what you want it to be. Would you please click on the campus video link, and that will give you a short little video about and show you our campus. Can we have you click on the campus video?
Yes, just a moment.
Okay.
Is that link working, Nicolette?
It's supposed to be going to a YouTube video.
We can't see it, Nicolette. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now we'll go back to the slides. But as you can see, we are a small little campus, and we really are a tight-knit group of people. We love to see our students succeed in every way. And so we have, again, a lot of programs to help the students. Next slide, please. Our cost of attendance is $1,800 a semester, which averages out to $150 per credit hour. Our student fees are $175, but currently our tuition fees and books are reimbursed at the end of a student successfully completing the semester with a 2.0 GPA or greater. So you could actually get a refund of all your tuition, books, and fees. We also have many scholarships available, and you can contact the financial aid office for more information. Next slide, please. You're invited to join us at Chandeska. You can apply now at littlehoop.edu. That is our website, and just click and put in apply.html. Our application is all online. You just have to fill it out. We do not have any application fees, and all are welcome to enroll. If you have any questions about it, you can call Student Services, and we are actually having our early registration happening November 15th through the 18th for spring semester. And trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, unfortunately, one bad thing about us is we do not have dormitories. And so in order to come to the college, you would either have to rent an apartment in town in Devil's Lake, or have family on the reservation to be able to live with in order to attend college. But again, we do offer majority of our courses online, so you can live anywhere. And just go to the littlehoop.edu website, click apply.html, and you can get started. Next slide, please, I think. Nope, that's it. But feel free to contact us. I will put my information in the chat room also. And it was great having this opportunity to give you information about Chandeska.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Melody. I can see in the chat that everyone really enjoyed that video. I know I enjoyed the calming music, and it was also really lovely images. Something that I learned from the video alone was just all of the hands-on opportunities that are offered for all the different programs you have. I saw the driving simulation, saw a robot looking thing. So it looks like there's a lot of really great opportunities at Chandeska Chicana. So thank you so much. I can see that our guests are already putting in the chat what they've learned. So I've really enjoyed all the engagement from our guests here. And so we are going to move on and talk a little bit about our scholarships and some of our resources through the College Fund. And then we're going to have a question and answer with all of these lovely representatives from tribal colleges and universities. So Sandy's going to tell us more about our scholarships.
Hi, everybody. I've already seen some questions on scholarships for Alaska Native and Native American students in the Q&A. So this will be a great time for you to have one of those questions answered. The College Fund has over 200 different scholarship opportunities for students attending both tribal colleges and universities, as well as mainstream institutions. And if you go to our website, you can actually find it on the website. There's a student tab. If you click on the student tab, there's a scholarship page underneath that. And all you have to do is go to that application, and we can put the link in the chat for you. So if Micheline or Nicolette would put the collegefund.org website in the chat, that'd be awesome. All you have to do when you go to that page is do one application, and it makes you eligible for all of the scholarship opportunities that we have. Our awards are usually about $2,500 per scholarship, but we do have scholarships that are 2 or 3 times as much as that. And like I said, students only need to submit one application to be eligible for all of them. The application is available from February 22nd to May 31st. You will need a nice profile picture, photo, as well as an image of your tribal ID or proof of descendancy when you fill out that application. So just make sure to have those with you when you are set to apply for them. I would really recommend that you follow us on social media. We are on Facebook and Twitter. We have TikTok. And then we also have a newsletter on our collegefund.org website. If you sign up for the newsletter, you will be receiving updates about the different scholarships that we offer, as well as just reminders throughout the year of what the deadlines are. I think it's really great to utilize that, especially because as you go through the year, I know it can be overwhelming to think about all the things you need to do to get ready for college. There's so many different kinds of deadlines that you have to be aware of. While the College Fund newsletter does kind of give you reminders of when the scholarships are due, and then just hearing the deadlines multiple times, and then getting scholarship tips and tricks from the newsletter is also just a really great way to stay on top of all of the offerings that we have on our website. All right, next slide, please. In addition to our scholarships, we also have the Native Pathways College Going Guidebook. We referenced this at the very beginning of the webinar because of the glossary on pages 58, I should say 58 to 59. I just realized it says 69 on that. But this resource has more than just a glossary. It has a lot of great information about things that you might want to know as you consider college, like what is college fit? What does that mean? And how do you find a college that is the right choice for you? How do you look at different colleges based on your interests and your academic strengths and things that you want to do someday? It also has a lot of really great cultural resources. They include letters from the elders and from family members within this guidebook. There are resources on how to connect with the Native community at tribal colleges and universities in this guidebook. They even have information on Fafsa. Fafsa is now open. It opened in the 1st of October, so hopefully you are thinking about signing up for or filling out your FAFSA so that you can become eligible for financial aid. If you have never done FAFSA before, this guidebook is a really great resource in walking you through exactly what you need to complete FAFSA successfully. So I highly recommend that you check out this guidebook, and we can put the link on the chat because I see we have a question about where you can get the guidebook. It is online so that you can go to the link and you'll have this resource there. In addition to that, this book also has a lot of great information on financial aid. For example, how to read a financial aid letter from a school when you are awarded financial aid through a school that you've enrolled in. So I just really recommend that you check this resource out. All right, next slide, please. This is the moment where I'm going to just welcome all of the students that are in attendance to go ahead and put any questions you have in the chat, or you can use the Q&A feature as well. I see there's a couple of open questions right now. Both me, Micheline, Nicolette, and all of the college representatives from the tribal colleges we have here can take a moment and just look at what questions you might have for us. If you don't feel like writing your questions down, you can also feel free to jump on the microphone and ask questions. So I'm just going to pause for a moment and give you a chance to ask any questions that you might have about the College Fund, our scholarships, or any of the schools you heard from today. I see we have a question on the QR code for students to access the survey. Micheline, do we have, can we go back to, can we go back to that slide, or can you drop the link in the chat?
I can drop the link in the chat, and then Nicolette, I believe, has the PowerPoint open, so she can go to the post survey and drop, have the QR code up too.
That's great. That was going to be my very last slide here, but since it's one of the questions, we can leave that open. Thank you to Amy for asking about the post survey. We're going to keep the questions going, but we'll leave this open. If you want to be eligible for prizes, make sure that you do fill out this post survey. We are giving away the prizes that you see in the picture. So the fire tablet, some t-shirts, and some hats as well. And then there is a question about the physical copy of the Native Pathways Guidebook. Micheline, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so I think we might be able to send out individual copies. If you're an educator, then I do recommend, I dropped a link in here. You can order a classroom set of about 30. And share those with students and families and other staff that you might work with. For students or families who are requesting an individual copy, I can send you my email and see if we can get you a physical copy. So just send me an email, and then I might have to request some information from you just so we can send that out. I just dropped that in the chat.
Thank you. And how often is our Pathways Guidebook updated? I think it's pretty recent, isn't it?
I think it might have been updated last year or 2 years ago. So if you have one from within that time frame, it probably is the same. And even then, it might not have a bunch of different changes in it.
I'm also seeing a question from Eva on information for all of the representatives. Representatives, feel free to go ahead and answer that question if you wanted to throw your information into the Q&A. There is a question where somebody's asking for that information.
I see some other questions too. If you took the pre-survey yesterday, do you need to take it again? If you take it again, you will be entered in again for prizes. So I do recommend taking it again. especially because you may have learned some new information today. And then I see Jeannie has a great question about how we're going to be doing the giveaway for prizes. We will be doing it as a drawing afterwards, and it will be based off of attendance and completing that post survey. So you do want to make sure you complete that.
I don't believe we have previous Native Pathways digital copies from our old editions. Is that correct, Micheline? We just have the one edition that we created.
Correct. And any of the changes that have been made, I believe, have been not like super big changes. So just little corrections and maybe new information here and there.
These are great questions. We have another one about if we are emailing links after Zoom. I believe we have an email that will go out post-event that will include important information and the recording, as well as any important links we want to send out. Is that correct, Micheline?
Mm-hmm. I see a good question here from Eva about the Fafsa that I'd like to go ahead and answer. So Fafsa was mentioned a couple times throughout everyone's presentations because it is truly really important. So if you are planning on going to college in the 2022-23 school year, which is next fall and spring, so if you're graduating this year, you would be going to college next year, or if you are a returning college student, so let's say you're a college freshman and you plan to continue on your sophomore year, then you're going to want to complete the Fafsa now-ish. It's definitely better to complete it earlier than later. Eva's question is whether a junior can sign up for the Fafsa. So if you're a junior and you're going to be graduating early, then you may want to consider completing the Fafsa now. However, typically you wouldn't complete it until about the year before you're planning to go to college.
All right, and I see an earlier one, I might have missed this, from Tiandri on nutrition and health programs. If any of the representatives from the schools here, if you have nutrition and health programs from your schools, go ahead and give Tiandri your contact information and your school name in the chat so that he can pass that information along to his brother. These are great questions. All right. Micheline, were there any questions you wanted to ask? I know you had asked a few questions yesterday that were really great for students to hear.
Yeah, one question I wanted to ask for our tribal colleges and universities that are here this evening is about dual credit or dual enrollment for high school students. If you can share a little bit about that and how students can get involved, what's the best way for them to learn more? That would be very helpful. And anyone can jump on to answer this.
We have dual enrollment with the area high schools that we provide services to. We don't do it as an online at this time because of some of the guidelines that we have to follow through HLC and through the state of North Dakota. But it is available for our area high school students.
That's great. Thank you, Melody. And that's a really good point. Oftentimes, if you're looking for dual enrollment or taking college credit while you're in high school, you're going to want to check in with your high school, your guidance counselor, or maybe a teacher that you have good rapport with, and also with local tribal colleges and universities and or community colleges in your area. Oftentimes, they are offering really great opportunities for high school students. And I see Josh, you unmuted. Do you have something to add?
I was just going to add that the cool thing with the PSEO or dual enrollment, you don't need to be a full-time student, so it's okay to try out one class. One thing that we always encourage students, make sure you're on track to graduate high school. That's your first hurdle. And so if you need a math class to graduate, hey, you can do college math and your high school math at the same time, 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, that's a really great tip. A lot of times you can earn high school credit and college credit at the same time. And that's where you're going to want to make sure you're meeting with someone at your high school as well, to make sure that you're continuing to meet those graduation requirements while earning those college credits. Cody, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that SBC does have dual credit also. Same with, we just go with like the local high schools. And I did that as a senior, and I took, because I went to school right across the road from SBC. So when I was a senior, I did 2, one semester I did my English 1 and then my English 2 the next semester. So I had 2 Englishes out of the way by the time I graduated high school. So that was a good deal.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Rihanna?
Hi. So we do have a dual enrollment program, but I think for ours, you have to be in Michigan. So you can be from a different part of Michigan, but I think based off of the standards they use, it has to be in Michigan. But for students, I would recommend looking at the advanced placement classes too. I did that in high school and that really helped. I think it took out like a chunk of my gen eds and it was cool. Everyone did essays in college and I was just like, I'm already done. So definitely recommend it for sure.
Awesome, thank you. I do see a tip from one of our school staff actually, and she says to make sure you connect with your high school counselor at your school to learn more about dual enrollment. And also, again, you want to make sure you're completing your graduation requirements while you're doing that. And then I see that Lewis has his hand up as well.
Yeah, just kind of in line with a lot of the other TCUs, CMN is really based on the high school that you go to. Like the one right across the street from us, the Menomonee High School, they do it, but some of our other area schools don't. So it really depends. You gotta contact your school counselor for that. I just seen that comment come up, so I'll lower my hand.
Awesome, great tips.
There's also a question from Kirsten asking about being enrolled in 2 colleges. I think dual enrollment, just so you know, we're talking about when high school students are enrolled in a high school class, but they're also receiving college credit. But if you want to know specifically about it being enrolled in 2 colleges, there are some states that allow you to take classes at multiple colleges. For example, I had a family member who was going to school in Colorado, and they took some classes at one of the colleges, and then they took other classes at another college because the college system there is kind of based on a statewide program, and that was a good way for that family member to take classes that were offered maybe at only one school while still working towards a degree. You do want to be careful, however, if you're trying to enroll into 2 colleges, to make sure that that you're working towards a degree, because some of the college classes might not articulate well together between 2 schools. So if you were considering that, I would definitely look at being involved in a system kind of like Colorado that has a statewide program that allows you to kind of mix and match.
I did want to say real quick, so we realized that if you attended yesterday and you completed the post survey already, then you aren't able to complete it again today. So I will look through your attendee information. So if you attended today, even if you don't complete the post survey, since you completed it yesterday, you'll still be considered for raffle prizes for attending this evening. So we really appreciate you being here. And I'll drop both of the links for the pre and post survey in here.
I think that is all of the questions that we have. So I just want to end with thanking everybody for being here. We really appreciate you attending throughout this presentation and being here tonight. I know that you have busy lives and lots of things going on, but I'm really excited that you took the time to learn about our tribal colleges and universities throughout the United States here today. So thank you so much for attending and for being such a great audience and asking so many good questions and just being really involved and active in the Q&A feature and the chat. Don't forget to follow the College Fund. It's either through the website. You can sign up for the newsletter to get updates on all of the scholarships that we have. Remember, we have over 200 scholarship opportunities that we provide to students. And also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and other social media. I'll go ahead and put up that page really quick and share screen here. So if you want to see what social media we are on, you can follow us and learn more about the opportunities that we have to help you get through school.